Hi, I'm Karen Bluth from the Department of Psychiatry, and I'm going to lead a practice to start with, which is a mindfulness practice, to just allow us to settle in. We'll do that first, and then I'll introduce a self-compassion practice um, that can be incorporated to other self-compassion practices or else done on its own. And then I'm going to talk about some of the challenges or doubts that many people have about self-compassion because it isn't part of our culture. But to start, let's just close your eyes if you're comfortable doing that. If not, you can leave your eyes open or half closed. And just maybe shift a little bit in your chair, allowing yourself to settle in a little bit. Allow this chair to support you. And bring your attention to your shoulders first. Noticing if there's any tightness in your shoulders or tension in your shoulders. And if so, see if you can relax that a little bit. Relax that area. You move them a little bit. Now bring attention to the muscles in your face, in your forehead, your cheeks, and anything that's tight or tense. See if you can allow it to let go a little bit more. Soften it a little bit. Even your tongue resting in your mouth. Just keep allowing that to let go. Now bringing your attention to your stomach area. Maybe the area below your rib cage. Noticing the movement of that area as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Bringing your attention to that slight movement of that area that moves with each breath. Now, as you breathe in, feeling your breath as you breathe in, maybe feeling it in the nostrils, coolness or warmth. And as you breathe out, seeing if you can let go a little bit more with each out breath, allowing yourself to relax and let go a little bit more with each out breath. Allowing this chair to hold you, maybe sinking a little bit deeper into the chair with each out breath. And if you notice that your mind is wandering, which our minds do, just gently guide your attention back to just simply feeling your breath as it passes through your nostrils. And as you let go, letting it come out of your nose or your mouth. And we'll just do this for maybe another 20 seconds or so, just feeling our breath. And letting go a little bit more with each exhale. And now, whenever you feel ready, you can open your eyes. So I hope that was a little bit relaxing for you, maybe a little bit centering. And what I'd like to offer you now is a self-compassion practice called supportive gestures. I like to do a little explaining before I actually teach it, so that people understand how it works. So we readily offer others supportive gestures, right? When we have a friend who is struggling, we would think nothing of giving them a hug or putting our arm around them or patting them on the back. That's normal for us, right? We don't do those things for ourselves because we're just not in the habit, but we can learn to. The reason that it comes naturally to us to do this for others is because it elicits a physiological response in our bodies and in the other person's body, which is the release of oxytocin. So oxytocin is actually a neuropeptide chemical that is called the feel-good chemical. It's good. It's what's released when a mother is nursing her child, her baby. It relaxes the mother, it relaxes the baby. We even do this for our pets, right? So we pet our dog or our cat. Cat purrs, feels good for the dog, feels good for us. Elicits this physiological response, this release of oxytocin. And we can do it for ourselves. So we're going to try out some supportive gestures right now. These are gestures that you can use anytime you're feeling stressed, upset, angry, whatever. You want to support yourself. Or you can use it in conjunction with other practices, either way. So I find it's a little bit easier to try these out with your eyes closed so that you can really get in touch with what it feels like. So if you want to close your eyes, you can go ahead and do that. If not, it's certainly fine to keep them open. And for the first one, just rubbing your two hands together. Okay. And as you do this, noticing what this feels like. Maybe feels a little warm. And see if this is at all comforting for you. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe stroking your upper arms. And see what that's like. Or giving yourself a little squeeze, a hug. Or maybe stroking your cheek, noticing what that's like. Or maybe resting your face in both your hands, cradling your face. Maybe noticing the warmth of your hands. Or how about putting one hand over the heart? Noticing the slight pressure of your hand on your heart. Or how about making small circles with your hand over your heart? Notice what that's like. Maybe putting two hands over your heart and just resting your hands there. Seeing if that feels supportive or comforting to you. And you could try making a fist with one hand and putting that over your heart and putting the other hand on top of that. This often feels like a gesture of strength for a lot of people. So seeing what that feels like to you. Okay, so if your eyes have been closed, you can open your eyes. And so hopefully you found one or two gestures that feels supportive or comforting to you that you can use in a moment when you're feeling tense or stressed. Another one is just holding one hand with the other hand in your lap. Or maybe you have one of your own that you already use. Or just try out other things. I would just like to, at this point now, just say a little bit about doubts that a lot of people have about self-compassion when they first start to practice. And again, the reason for this is that it's not something that we're raised with. We're raised in our culture to be kind to others, compassionate to others, support others. We're not raised to be kind, compassionate, and supportive to ourselves. So it's something we have to learn, and it's something that feels often uncomfortable or awkward at first. So one of the main doubts that people have about self-compassion is that it will kill their motivation, that they're going to end up like lying on the couch watching Netflix all day long, eating potato chips. What we know from many research studies is that this is not true, that actually the opposite is true, that people who are more self-compassionate are actually more likely to take on new challenges, to try hard, to be motivated. And the reason for this is that they know that if they try something new and they fail, that they're not going to beat themselves up, that they'll be there for themselves. So there isn't as much of a fear of failure, or there may not be a fear of failure at all. But you'll be there. You'll be supportive to yourself. So that's one doubt that many people have about self-compassion. Other doubts are things like feels selfish, it feels self-indulgent, feels like you're pitying yourself. We know from numerous research studies that this isn't true, that people who are more self-compassionate are actually often their partners say that they are particularly giving and kind and loving. They're more likely to take care of themselves, to go to the doctor when needed. They're more likely to exercise, to stick to their diets, because being self-compassionate is like being a good parent to yourself. You're going to, maybe allow yourself to have some desserts, some sweets, but you're not going to indulge yourself with them because that's not good for you. That's not healthy, right? So we know from research studies that people who are more self-compassionate are actually take good care of themselves and are giving and caring and actually have more to give to others because they're taking the time and the energy to fill their own cup, so to speak, their own jug, so that they can pour for others. They take the time to resource themselves so that they can be more present and have and take better care of others. So if you're in one of those caring professions, and I know that a lot of you are, self-compassion can be really helpful in reducing burnout. And again, we know this from research studies. So thanks so much for taking time to watch this video, and take good care of yourselves.